some of these dogs, and so far I haven't met one that's honestly anything but very pleasant, easy to train. Just all of them are so loving and kind.
This is our big boy, Bone. Bone was found wandering in the Homestead area. His name is Bone because you could count his ribs. He was so thin. This guy is a big bear. He is so sweet. This guy is a sweetheart. And this is Maureen. Maureen was also found in the streets of Key Biscayne, as a matter of fact. And they're inseparable. These guys are nothing would make us happier than to see them adopted together, but I know that really is a hard request and a hard wish.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, someone actually tried to adopt the two of them, and they weren't properly trained.
Exactly.
I don't mean the dogs, I mean the humans.
The people.
And unfortunately, they were returned here because of that.
Yep. You know, that's a huge problem that we have. People who mean to do well, they want to adopt a dog, they want to give it a home, but they're not knowledgeable on how to handle the transitional period of the dog from the shelter to the house, and how to let the dog know that the humans are the pack leader, and teach them from the get-go, from the minute that dog steps out of their car into the front yard. It has to be it has to start that very second. And unfortunately, the people who adopted these two dogs, not because they were bad people, it's just that they were not knowledgeable.
Their own fault. Yeah, maybe they just didn't know that, didn't expect that they should be ready before the dogs even come in.
And look at our Ice Cream back there. Ice Cream, what are you doing? What are you doing, Ice Cream? What are you doing? Look at this beautiful dog. This beautiful dog was also found wandering the streets of Homestead. Good dog. This one needs a home where most likely he's the only dog, unless the people really know how to work with dogs. But I think he would do much better in a home where he's the only dog. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily rule it out. You know, it's really all up to the people and their level of training and their level of involvement. He seems like a sweetheart.
I got treats for you later, big boy. Got treats for you, big boy.
All right, so moving on, who do we have here?
This is Anna. Anna is an older girl, and Sunshine, another older dog. And this dog over here, Dags. Dags is a young female American bulldog. Do I need to tell you that she's a sweetheart? Just her body language. She's just waiting for somebody to come and say, I've fallen in love with you and I'm taking you home. Beautiful, beautiful markings. Sweet girl. Sweet girl. And they're all happy here, like Roman says. You know, he's noticed that they're doing well, that they're happy. We only have one employee here, one paid employee. We sure could use quite a few extra hands, like I'm always repeating myself. Even for landscaping, we have stuff out here that needs to be moved to the front and disposed of. So there's work for everybody. You know,
and I see most of these are cement, but we have a couple of wood ones here. And from what I understand, we want to get all of these wood ones out of here.
We would love, there is such a huge need for new dog houses.
Well, how much is it approximately to build one of these houses?
I have been told that's anywhere between $400 to $600, depending on the size of the house.
That's it? It's nothing.
So
it seems like a very reasonable price.
Listen, you guys put together some money. If there's a group and you could put that it was donated by your group or your organization, we would love to acknowledge your gift to anybody that comes to see the shelter, because that just gets people to want to donate. So any group that would like to put together Jean Day at work, and everybody brings in $5. You do that for a couple of months and we have money for a new house. And it's your donation with your name and your contribution to helping save a couple of dogs out here.
Now, I see a lot of dogs, and I really don't see any small dogs. So first thing that comes to mind is we're eating a lot of food here. Can you give us just an idea of how much food we go through?
Oh my gosh. I don't do the buying because the owner of the shelter does that. But we go through quite a few bags, and I don't know if you saw on the floor, the bags are neutral. These dogs eat good food, grain-free. It only makes sense because if you feed them good food, you have less problems and a smaller vet bill. It just makes sense. But these, you see the bags because the lady is feeding them now.
I pictured just a truck coming in with.
They do.
Yes. Without bags, just some run-of-the-mill Costco brand. But this, I don't think my dog even gets anything this good.
This is grain-free, and we do get them from. We get a very small discount. Don't think that these companies give us a big discount. We get a very small discount on the food, and we buy them. We buy the big bags, the dry food. They bring it in a truckload, and we get it once a month. But we're always asking for canned dog food, either neutral or pedigree. And the reason for the difference is that I know a lot of people can't afford neutral. Neutral is expensive, and pedigree is also available everywhere. Canned dog food, pedigree canned dog food, chunks, which is easier to open and put in a bowl. Big pedigree is found everywhere, whether it's in Winn-Dixie, Publix, BJ's, Costco, Walmart, Walgreens. They're sold everywhere.
And,
so
what am I looking at over here?
Easier.
Sorry to interrupt.
This, obviously, since all the dogs are outside, and Florida is known to have an occasional hurricane every once in a while, we need to have provisions ready to bring all these dogs that are out in the back, which I think there are like 80, 90 dogs out here, 80 or 90 out here. They all are brought into these couple of structures that you see. We have 2 garages and a house. So we have kennels in there, and all the animals that are out here are all brought in. Volunteers take dogs home. I take dogs to my house to keep them safe. So that's the...
You guys have all the bases covered here.
That's the reason for these. These are 3 dogs. This is the perfect example of why volunteers are so necessary. These are 3 dogs. They're a pack. It's mother, son, and daughter. They're wild dogs in the sense that they've been here a couple of years. They were wild in the Homestead area. It took a long time to be able to catch these dogs, to bring them in. And they've never been trained, no socialization. The big black boy, Richard Burton, I love the names. You can tell that the owner is a little older because they're named Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor, and Debbie Reynolds.
Oh yeah, sense of humor. Huh?
Yeah, but Richard, I think, is very adoptable. He's a beautiful, big, black lab dog. But he needs to be walked. He needs to have a leash put around his neck and walked. And I just don't have people. And so people have come and they're not adopting him because they can't take him into their house. He's wild.
I see.
So, but that's their area here. So they have a nice big area. We have a pool. The house has a pool in the back. And we would love to have volunteers that will take in some of the labs and some of the other dogs that have arthritis, the older dogs, bring them into the pool. There's nothing better than, water therapy for these dogs. Again, I come back to the same dog, the same problem that we have with the dogs. We don't have volunteers. I keep beating a dead horse with this. I know, I keep begging for volunteers.
Yeah, and as I walk through the property, I mean, everything is very well manicured. There aren't just piles and piles of dog poop everywhere. Everything is clean. All their cages are taken care of.
And this is done by one full-time employee that she feeds all these dogs. They get fed once a day, and she cleans the kennels and gives medicine to these.
Well, I'd love to know what her Christmas bonus is.
Well, because she actually took a dog home. So besides working all day